The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
Detroit, it's time. It's playoff time, Detroit. Let's go to work.
Shout out Detroit. I got to buff up, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, I'm all the way in. Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Buffs On Podcast. We are the best POD in the 313. We got the full squad here today. Nobody on the injury report. We're all ready to go. We got trade deadline talk, maybe a little bit of Jalen Duren talk as well, as All-Star reserves are announced tonight at 6 p.m. on NBC. We're also going to talk about the previous few games the Pistons have played against a couple of teams, a couple good ones, or one really bad one, and a couple of decent ones. Let's get this going here, guys. Connie, you're first on my screen. Let's talk about first. Let's get through a couple of these games that we've just played. What has been a recent takeaway you've had from games against Denver, Phoenix, and Golden State?
I don't have any crazy takeaways from this. I think the Suns played a fantastic game for what they had, but even though we put up 131 on the Warriors, we're an atrocious offensive team, and it just keeps coming back to that. Every efficiency landscape I see from I forget who the guy is that puts them out. It's like Pistons number 1 in defense by like a good margin and number 23 in offense. And that's just really ranked true this week as well. Couldn't hit a what is it? Squirt gun into the ocean or something against the Suns. Just really highlighting some needs that we have, I feel.
Yeah. And I think we've talked about it on the pod before, how we think that, like, just because this team is playing so well, some of their needs are going unaddressed. But now's the time to address those. Valley, any takeaways you have and what you think those needs are?
I think my takeaway is, for one, that I think we've been seeing Cade Cunningham look like himself again. The game against the Knicks was the last time he scored 20 plus, I think, until Sacramento. So it was good to just see him back. But what I saw was the team necessarily didn't play 48 minutes for me. Even Golden State, you say we're not a good offense, and yeah, there's some stats to back that up. But at the end of the day, we dropped 45 first quarter points, 70 something at halftime against Golden State. I thought that was the most fun first quarter I've ever watched. I thought we were going to win that game by 30 against Golden State. We were cooking in the first quarter. Ball was just moving around. Ball movement was electric. And for a moment, I was like, all right, I'm back on the pendulum where we don't need to make a move. But I think the glaring need for any kind of shooting is pretty evident. But I think where I'm kind of at right now with it is, why not like a periphery move? I think that was kind of the most glaring thing for me. It's like we don't need to break the bank and alter gigantic things here. Can we make a move for someone who can be on the tail end of the rotation and just contribute significantly with their shooting ability? A guy, not saying him, for example, like a Tim Hardaway Jr. or something. But yeah, we've been saying it all year. And now we only have 4 or 5 days to find out if the shooting will come or not.
Yeah, coming down to the wire for sure. A lot of names have been floated around. Are they available? Are they not available? Michael Porter Jr., Trey Murphy, Klay Thompson. Keon Ellis is not off the board if he ever was a possibility. Gabe, your thoughts on the last 2 games from the Pistons and what you think is going to happen within these next 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, pretty much just echoing what you guys said. We need shooting. But once again, I think I'm kind of moved past the idea of trading Tobias this season. I do think it's time for an upgrade in the offseason. He should not be starting anymore, I'd say. But to have him off the bench next year, I think will still be a great weapon to have. In regards to Valley's point, but we do need to make a move. So I think, most fans are at least attached to Karis LeVert. And I think it's the easiest guy to move if we do have Jenkins, Ivy, and Sasser back there as well. I've been mentioning the name Klay Thompson, Malik Monk. These guys are available and they're pretty cheap. I think with Karis in a couple seconds, it should get the deal done for either one of those guys. So that's kind of the player caliber I'm looking at. Maybe now that Cleveland traded for two more guards, really, well, maybe a guy like Sam Merrill is available. I doubt they'd move him, but might be worth a call. And what was the Heat rumor recently that what's the guy's name? Norm is available. He'd be an awesome upgrade. But we might have to give up a first or two for him, which maybe in this year's draft might be doable. But if unless you guys have anything else to say, I'd like to transition to Jalen Duren. And you mentioned today 6 p.m. Our game starts at the same time. So if he comes out with a huge quarter after he's like subbed out or after halftime, he either hears his name or not. I'm just gonna watch a difference in his play today, from when he gets to the bench and when he comes back on the court. And he's just been awesome these past games. Except even against Phoenix, he played well. In spurts, just didn't have the energy. He's just been awesome.
Yeah, Draymond Green even I think went up to him. Draymond Green in the post game interview said, like I told him today. He said a lot actually. There's a whole interview about it. I'll check out our Twitter page to check out the whole thing. But he talked about how when JD came into the league, him and Kevon Looney were often asked, "What do they think about Jalen Duren?" And Green said that Duren didn't quite understand yet how to use his strength at the age of 18. And that's how a lot of 18-year-olds are. And now he knows how to use his strength, and he's using it. And he went up to Duren and said, "Hey, congrats on your All-Star selection." Duren goes, "It's not happened yet." And Green goes, "Don't worry, it's going to happen." So nice to see a little bit of respect from around the league on Jalen Duren. He has been really good this season. Defense has improved. Offense obviously improved. We haven't seen the midi in a couple of weeks, so maybe that makes a surprise guest appearance right here before the All-Star break. But Connie, Valley, you guys have any thoughts on Jalen Duren and his play as of late?
Been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a whole lot less of like non-impactful Duren minutes, which I feel like even earlier in the season when we saw his progression and his skill progression, there were still some like times where he'd fall on the back burner. But I feel like recently it has been impactful, good almost all the time. Even against the Suns, he went off. He's just always imposing himself now, which he absolutely should be doing because he can
Mm-hmm.
impose himself against anybody. And like he's just kind of always around, efficient, awesome basketball player. I mean, obviously deserving all-star.
And I
I
like
mean,
how he picks and chooses like who he goes after. Like it was really evident out of the gate in Phoenix that he was gonna go right at Mark Williams, and he did, and he exposed the heck out of him.
yeah,
Uh,
that's the I guess sort of a draft rival. Two
yeah,
centers picked close to each other in that 2022. Yeah.
I think they're both technically Charlotte picks too. I think Charlotte had one of them, or no, it was New York. I'll lose track of it. I think Charlotte was tied in there somewhere, but yeah, you're right. A draft rivalry. I think we got the better pick. I liked Mark Williams out of the draft, but Jalen Duren's, as Green said, his muscle is kind of the huge takeaway for me. Valley, your thoughts on JD?
I really like that. It seems across NBA media members and whatnot, that general pool, they all seem to have Jalen Duren as a lock for the All-Star reserves, which I really appreciate. It does seem like it's going to happen, but we will see tonight. And I was thinking about that. Yes, the exact same time we tip off against Brooklyn. So I think either way, we're going to see a really invigorated, fired up Jalen Duren tonight, make or miss the All-Star team. Either way, it's gonna give him some extra motivation tonight, I think, against the Brooklyn Nets. We're playing against somebody we might see in the future, but for Jalen Duren, I think yeah, his specifically his little ISOs where he goes face up from about like 15, 17 feet have just been really good. And I don't know how, because I swear he just puts his shoulder down and gets to his right every single time for like a little like running hook.
It's because he's kind of got a sick crossover that
Mhm.
bigs
He,
just
he
cannot
never
keep
goes
up
to
with.
his left.
His
If you
turn.
look, he will never go to his left though. So that's why I'm just surprised that it's been just zoinking people. But he's gotten it pretty down pretty good so far. Mark Williams is way too little for him. I don't know what Mark Williams really does. He could not
I
handle.
like Mark Williams,
I
man. Come
liked it
on.
too.
Really? I didn't know. I mean, Phoenix won, but I didn't really notice anything that he did that caught my eye in any means. But JD's been really good. But for me, it's like the defense. I think he's been a lot more locked in on that side of the ball, which has just been a joy to watch.
It has been, and him and Cade were one of those. I think it was 5 or 10 pick and roll duos that I that graphic showed. I sent in the group chat. I'll see if I can pull it up again for the pod. But showing that he is one of the best PNR defenders in the league with Cade Cunningham. So
Yeah, suspect statistic,
so
unfortunately, because of who else was on that list.
that's fair.
I just fucking there's Vooch is on that list with that Io.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
Io. Who else is on that list? Actually,
I
that's
think Luke
really
Cornett was on that list.
but Luke Cornett is
I like
the
Luke
other bad
Cornett.
one was Bagley, Marvin Bagley
Marvin
and Trey
Bagley, yeah, yeah,
Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Those are the two that make you question the statistic altogether. But other than that, yeah, I mean, still awesome.
He is. He is. He's an awesome all-star for sure. We will know for sure at 6 p.m. Is he a snub if he doesn't make it? Quick yes or no?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
yes.
yeah, is a snub if he doesn't make it. And I really don't see a world where he doesn't make it. Like, even if he's not selected, there's no way he's not like the first card they pull off the injury replacements when somebody inevitably doesn't uh come to the All-Star game.
Probably. So, maybe premature, but I think it's pretty locked in. Congratulations, Jalen Duren, on being named an all-star. Any notes on JD before we move into some more trade deadline contract stuff? All
I
right.
guess
Well, oh yeah, go ahead.
real quick on the games themselves, Cade kind of had a few field goal stinkers again, even though he played really well. He is now 21st percentile at percent rim finishing. So bottom fifth in the league, basically.
Wait,
And
say that again.
he's in the 21st percentile of uh, percent accuracy rim finishing. So like,
Yeah,
yeah,
79% of
Congrats.
players are better at
Yeah.
shoot a
yeah,
better percentage around the rim. Yeah.
exactly. And he's
Don't
also
care.
bottom third at pull up and catch and shoot 3-point percentage.
That makes sense.
That
That
fully
that statistic
expected.
matches the
Yeah,
eye test.
100% expected. Yeah.
So like there's clear ways for him to improve as we say over and over again. And then Stu also had a dunk. I think it was against the Nuggets where he started to dance after he
Oh yeah, I
thought
replayed
that
that
was
like three
hilarious.
times.
I
It's
missed
like, is
that.
he just standing there? Is he doing a little? Is he doing a little like groove to him?
I
And
think he
I'm
was
glad someone else saw. Uh, yeah,
That's
elbows out.
awesome.
I thought that looked so cool with Kate just screaming at him and one. Yeah, that was awesome.
I love
Um,
it. Cade screams and one so much. He gets me fired up every
to be
time.
real, I don't think that 3-pointer's coming. I don't think he's
Ooh.
getting to 50th percentile or 60th or 80th percentile. I think the rim finishing could get better.
this
Mm-hmm.
year or like career.
Career.
You
I
think
don't.
he's like low 30s for the career?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's who he is, and I'm very happy with it. But like, we've got a fair bit of evidence here that
It's not it.
he's just not an elite 3-point shooter. Like, he can knock him down. I think he'd be better than. I think he was better last year than he is now. But like, I think that 35% is probably like, yeah,
Ceiling.
that's ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Hard to disagree. He started off really slow
And
this year
that
too.
sounds like hate. I also think ceiling is MVP of the league. So both of those things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, it's a bit of a it's tough that it's not going to come because it would help the team and the game so much. But yeah, there's a lot of evidence that points to it not coming around.
Yeah, I mean he was 36 the past 2 years basically.
I'll take that. I mean, if that's yeah, it just feels. I don't know why. It just feels. What is it this year? It just feels absurdly.
32.
Yeah. Okay. Killian Hayes. Anyone? It just it's bothersome, but there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, he started off really slow, didn't he?
He was at 24 for October. And then he was back up to like 35, and now he's 30 again for January. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't take the easiest shots either, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like what are the most efficient three? I mean, his catch and shoot three numbers are a little concerning to me. I feel like those were the ones that he was normally knocking down, but now I feel like the most I see him hit one is if he gets a good screen and just goes 1-2 into it.
And he goes right, yeah. I
Yeah.
think Valley pointed that out before because that's when he has enough strength to get the ball to the rim and it's not as flat when you put your whole body into it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I still like it's not. He has an ugly shot. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty flat. It's like kind of like a Draymond Green.
Even the
Um,
middies that he shoots are like just, of course, it's just his shot, but they've been like front ironing and just dancing in. They're not always straight buckets, you know?
no, it's quite flat. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, though. You're right. Valley, any thoughts on Cade's jump shot?
Not really. Definitely seems like yeah, really flat as of late. It seems to go through phases of where it's flatter, and obviously the percentages drop off as compared to others. But I think it'll be interesting to see. I think it's been a bit better here as compared to that injury-ridden stretch, which I think the
Oh yeah.
correlation makes sense there. So I don't know. Let's see on it as he kind of seems to shake off in the injury report. He was on it again, versus Golden State, wasn't he, with the hip? Let's see if he like can have some consistency being off the injury report and see if the percentages will reflect that.
Yeah,
Um,
that All-Star break can't come fast enough for him.
Really, I can. Too bad he's not resting during it now. But
No,
He's he's on
bittersweet.
it. He's on it again for tonight.
he's on the injury report again
He's
tonight.
he's
He
he's
might actually
probable.
sit tonight.
Yeah, sit tonight, bro.
Take, take a
Sit
breather.
tonight. Let Jalen Duren just do absolutely everything.
Let's get the
Trying to
Ivy
get.
start going.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, we'll see if it comes along. Let's see. Let's give him some chances. See, I'm sure it can't be hard, having that much of a usage rate, seeing doubles and triples quite literally every single possession. There's not a possession he can go one-on-one.
has his reads in those been worse to you guys lately?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's just a really aggressive blitz, and the only logical thing to do is to get the ball out of his hands because that's the
I mean, yeah.
We
just
need to
what to
acknowledge
do.
that our spacing has taken also a step backwards from last year. Um, no, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, he's still driving one of the best teams in the league.
Oh yeah, for sure. It just felt like a couple reading in a couple of games have just been like not Cade-esque, and then it just feels like this team that was demolishing 4-on-3s for so long is now struggling to do it again. So it just felt off. Didn't know if you guys noticed anything.
Mm.
No. All right. Uh, any other notes on Cade before we talk a little bit more trade stuff? All right. Well, Valley kind of mentioned his name. Let's get the Ivy start going. Let's start talking about Jaden Ivey. And is he a starter tonight with Cade Cunningham out? Or it's probably going to be Daniss if Cade is out. But is this Jaden Ivey's last week as a Piston? I started out with Connie the last couple of times, so I give it to Gabe. Gabe, your thoughts on Jaden Ivey?
Oh man, it's tough because like me and Connie were just chatting a little bit before. Like the guy just can't dribble. I don't know what it is, but
Mm-hmm.
it seems like more of a conscious effort to get into the paint the past few weeks, I think, where he does just kind of force his way in, and it doesn't usually end up good. But it's nice to see him kind of get back to that. It's at the point where if his three isn't dropping, he's kind of a huge negative on the court. Um, but I still don't think we should trade him. Like unless like some team like the Kings or the Hornets or something overpays for him or actually wants him, I think it's fine to just keep him and then see what his contract will be in restricted free agency. Again, if he's in a trade to get a good piece, I'm all for it. But I'm fine letting him get the year and bring him back next year if the price is right.
You mentioned the Hornets Pistons have been tied to Miles Bridges a lot the last couple of days. Any interest there?
No.
That might be the
No.
first time I refuse to watch a Pistons game, man. Like Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. We're shutting down the pod. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. Is he a huge negative? Yeah, I'm not ready to give up on Jaden Ivey yet. I know a lot of people are, and they're just looking for reasons to get rid of him. Like you said, unless someone's really, really willing to overpay, I'd prefer to keep Ji. Valley, your thoughts?
Yeah, some people, Mike, are like really, really adamant on like trading this guy because he's not just performing as where he used to be before his leg got snapped in half. And I just feel like that just can't get overstated time and time again. Like, and I'm so anti-trading Ivy because I really think that we see it in flashes. And his ceiling, it might need to reshift to being like he could still be a great sixth man. He could still be this player. We were talking exactly a year ago, talking about him being the best scorer on this basketball team. I don't think that can just go out the window. You see it in moments. I think he's been better getting to the hoop in recent times. At first, it was, yeah, we see some improvement on the defensive side of things. His jumper's starting to fall. But what's been most exciting for me is he's not losing it every time he's driving and he's getting to the basket. He's still losing it a lot, but not every single time. So that's some improvement, and I'm expecting that improvement will continue to come as he gets his reps in and in. Um, yeah, I'm hoping tonight against Brooklyn with Kate on the injury report. Our first 30-minute plus game for Jaden Ivey would be a dream for me. Um, and I really want to give him more of those opportunities before he potentially gets dealt. On the same hand, this sounds like kind of bad and unethical as a fan, but for the Pistons, it's good perhaps that he might get a chance to play 35 minutes against Brooklyn and kind of show out an audition to the rest of the NBA as a trade piece. However, yeah, I want to keep Ivy here. He just, to me, is a part of the core. Connie, you've consistently been saying he doesn't look happy on the bench. I think that can be overread. I think that can just be a personality type too. Again, I feel like we can see that could go either way. Time will tell, but I'm on the board of keeping Ji around just because of the potential of what could be, and because he was here, he's part of the OG crew.
Yeah, and you know that seeing Jalen Duren being nominated as an All-Star reserve and him being, a guy that I think in Phoenix only played 7 minutes for a good chunk of the first half, and then into the second half didn't touch the floor at all, even though we were getting beat up pretty good. So I don't know what that means for Ji. Is he hurt? Is he still going through something? Has JB lost
I think
confidence in him?
I think the Phoenix game they were outworking us, and I think JB didn't play him because he was going to lose the ball and have a negative impact on the game. I thought that was the first time he saw him bench Ivy.
Yeah, which is a little concerning to me. Like if JB's not going to put you out there when you're getting worked, like I don't know. Like, is that the kind of guy that you want to have? I mean, Marcus Thasser didn't touch the floor either. Chaz Lanier hasn't even been on G League assignment. He didn't touch the floor either. Um, we saw some Bobby Clintman minutes, so that's exciting. Good to see Bobby back on the floor after that ankle injury. But Connie, your thoughts on Ji?
It brings me no pleasure, man. It brings me no pleasure, but the dude,
Just wait, man.
okay, how long? He has played
He's
32 games this year. He has been, I think, a glaring weakness in each of those games. I don't
not
think
each of
there's a
those.
game that he has played where he has contributed, like been like a contribute, not just like existed during a win, but contributed towards winning. Like we could go back to one of these games and been like, oh, Jaden Ivey did this or this or this, and
Yeah, I
that's
got
why the
one.
Pistons won. Are you talking about the two threes?
I'm talking about 17 minutes, January 15th versus Phoenix, 15 points, 6 for 8.
Um, I don't know.
Still
Okay,
shooting at 38% from deep.
he is.
37.4 in the season. Sorry, not 37.8, but still
All right,
That's
37.4.
shockingly high to me.
which game are you talking about?
Jan 15th against Phoenix.
115 versus Sun, 17 minutes, 15 points, 6 for 8, 3 for 5 from deep.
Jan 15th with the
I
Suns.
remember watching that game.
Where in that victory, yeah, I remember watching this game too. It was a -4.
Okay, we won the game by 3 points.
All I'm saying is, man, like it seems like he
You
exists
can
and
look at a
something
plus
happened.
minus for anything.
No. That's why I was thinking this because I'm remembering this game now, and it exists, and some stats go up, and so he hits some threes, but he is not an impact player right now. He can't get to the rim, can't for the life of him dribble the basketball, which is pretty essential for a guy that you want ideally to hit the paint because you can't hit the paint on the Detroit Pistons without a second guy being there. And he's just fully incapable of doing that.
Is spacing a problem for Jaden Ivey?
I think 100% spacing is a problem. Like I said, I think the spacing has fallen off a little bit this year, and I think that's a detriment to him. If he was surrounded by four guys that could shoot and they couldn't like swing in, I think he would be better. But that's not the situation, and that's not going to become the situation. Like that's not. I mean, maybe we add one more shooter, but there was a play that I'm thinking of where he gets the ball on the 3-point wing and he surveys and he goes right past this guy. He puts one dribble down and just directly into the next defender who's guarding the guy at the top of the key, and the guy just strips him and goes down the other way. And it's just like it looks like he's sometimes dribbling with mittens on or like paddles on his hand, where he's just kind of smacking it down, and there's no like feel for the dribble. It's just like how it looks visually, you know? And I want him to get back. I want to see this team grow together, but we got to be realistic that he's just not like, at least for these 32 games, he has not been a good player.
Okay, so we've all had a little bit to say our piece. Is Jaden Ivey a Piston on February 6th? I say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you just
I say
sleeping on
yes
the
as
fact
well.
that this guy had arthroscopic knee work done before this season? He's coming off 11-month long injury. Like he's coming back to a team that had
Is
such
that
a
a
deep run,
neural?
like just
Is that a
to
neural?
gel right away with
Is
them.
that a brain
Huh?
injury? I didn't realize breaking your leg makes you lose all handle that you had in your body, because he used to be able to dribble. He hit the paint
Well, here
often.
it makes it considerably worse when you haven't played in that long and you have less spacing on your team than before. You're coming to different
Did he
spacing and you're
not
being
dribble a
bombarded with
basketball at any
move.
when you break your leg, you're in a cast and you're in a cast wobbling around after maybe 4
You're
months.
not playing basketball.
Whip.
He averaged 17.6 a game
And
last
he
year,
could
man. There's just no way it falls
and
after
he
that. He was
dribbled the
16 his
basketball
rookie
last year.
year.
He dribbled the basketball. I think it's a big part of it is a confidence thing, but
And that all comes back. Like it comes back with repetition, is my
how
logic.
many repetitions? Are you
Give
expecting to
him the
see?
year,
Are
man.
you expecting
Give
to
him
see
the
an
year in the summer.
okay, so you're not expecting to see an impactful Jaden Ivey this year.
I'm expecting the impact to grow, but he'll be back to peak impact, I bet, by the start of
Has
next
his
year.
impact increased from his first game to his
Yeah, I think
32nd
so.
game?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, yeah?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
No,
I
no,
don't either.
I haven't seen anything. No.
Yeah. He looks just about the same, right?
Yeah,
Which, yeah.
concerning. Okay, so that brings up something else. Connie, you sent this in the group chat. Let's touch on this real quick before we throw out a few names the Pistons could target in the next 4 days. Daniss Jenkins turning down a 2-year minimum contract with the Pistons. I don't blame him. Connie, you brought up this question in the chat. I think it's important to bring to the pod. How much are you paying Daniss Jenkins?
Daniss Jenkins, I ran some similar, I feel like, to Trey Jones in 2023. He was coming off a pretty good year with San Antonio. He signed a 2-year, $19 million contract. And I feel like that's something that we could see, like a 2 for 20.
Really? That's a
Something like it.
lot.
We got to understand, like the cap has increased from 2023 by $40 million. So like a 10, yeah, $10 million contract is less than 10% of the cap. I think it's a good deal.
It's like the
I don't
Kings will offer him a
entirely.
bag or something.
That's exactly what Gabe said.
I took into account Tobias Harris getting paid 20 next year, I think a 2 for 40, and Jalen Duren making 25% of the cap at like 40 million. That would get everybody on the team together at 217 million, which is over the cap, but still well within, I think, the spending range of what the Pistons could do.
And you just glanced over that. That's you anticipating Tobias Harris gets extended and not traded.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like if everything stands pat, that's the situation we find ourselves in. If not, I also expected Ivy to get a 2 for 30. What's up, Buffs on fans? We're back for the part 2 of the podcast. We're gonna get going with a little Daniss Jenkins convo, which Daniss Jenkins just turned down the 2-year minimum contract from the Pistons, which we all agreed and nodded to because he should do that. But then the question arises, what do we want to give him? What do we think Daniss Jenkins is worth, and is he worth keeping at all? I put forth that I think a 2-year, $20 million deal, I think will absolutely get it done. It is a good amount of money, but at the same time, the cap next year is going to be $166 million. So that 10 is a drop in the bucket, honestly. How do you guys feel about that? Where do you want to what do you want to pay Danius?
What was the cap last year for perspective?
So this year it's 154.
So 12 million increase.
12 million
That
increase.
does that mean like a cumulative of your 1 year salary between your team, you could have $12 million per year more. And that
Yeah.
means your annual salary of 1 year for your players you're paying has to be 166 maximum.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're so it's over the cap. You can actually even get even more because the amount over the cap isn't fixed, it's a percentage. So like the hard cap and the luxury tax is even it grows more than $12 million. But yeah.
That's interesting. I feel like it's tough with these. Like you have to see the bar for what the market is for Daniss Jenkins, but with a player like him, I just feel like there's going to be a certain number of owners of an organization who are going to overpay him for what they saw from this season. That's why I jokingly said the Sacramento Kings, but now that they traded Ellis and Schroeder, they're kind of lacking some backcourt depth, and I would not put it past them to significantly overpay Daniss Jenkins. But I said this maybe a month ago or so, or maybe a little bit more, that Jenkins was on his way or well on his way towards playing himself into a contract, and it's just good for Daniss, coming from an undrafted, coming from the journey he's had to be in line for such a big paycheck is great for him. And we do have to note that. I hope it is a Piston, but I think this next rest of the season is going to be interesting to see if it's going to be Daniss Jenkins next season. What do we do with Ivy? I believe it's Sasser's extension summer extension is up this summer for Marcus Sasser. Big decision there. Do we go out into the market and go and try to get a veteran playmaker, ball handler like we have with Dennis Schroeder last year? A lot of questions are going to need to be answered, but to me, it just sounds like a lot of money, 2 year 20 million, maybe like a 2 year 18, 17 for Daniss Jenkins. But I guess if the cap is going up, it just seems like such a large figure for Daniss.
See, Karras just got a 2 for 28, if that impacts what you're thinking.
Yeah, it does actually. Even though he's a proven NBA player, but still it does.
I would prefer to have him on a longer deal, honestly. I think just pay him now until the end of this. He only has like 2 or 3 games left, yeah, of his like two-way thing before he
I
can't
think
play with us
we
anymore.
have to, yeah.
Yeah, so we pay him to the end of the season, pretty much convert his contract, and then let him go into restricted free agency. What about the old John Lure contract for him? 4 year, 40 roughly. Um,
Incredible that we're talking out here 2 year 20 being too much, and we literally gave John Lure 4
4
year
year,
40
42
in
back in
what? In
2010 or whatever.
10
2016?
years ago, that's like an $80 million contract now.
Kind of crazy to think about.
I think long term Sasser walks, and we keep Daniss as like the kind of backup third string guy on our roster. Um, I really don't think he's gonna get too much money from other teams. These guys aren't in too high demand. I think guys who aren't necessarily proven as a full-time backup, like Tyus Jones or something. So we'll see. I don't think it's gonna cost too much. I think it'll be between like 5 and 15 per year. I'd no between 5 and 10 per year, I'd say. I could see like a 3 or 15, honestly.
That's a pretty big difference from what you got, Connor. You're saying 2 year 20, 3 year 15. What do you think?
Um, I don't know. It's always t like you said, it's tough to talk about NBA contracts because like the contracts we see or what we think about are outdated the moment, like the next year. Like, who gets a 3 for 15 nowadays?
I think there was one guy in Miami. But Connie, you mentioned you had another guy as well that you did the price comparison on.
Oh, Tobias Harris. Tobias
What?
Harris came out
Yeah.
very similar to like a 2022 Marcus Morris, a Danilo Gallinari, a Bogdan Bogdanovic, all guys that were eventually paid in like 2 or 3 year deals at about $20 million a year, or a little under for them, which came out to about like 20 to $25 million a year, adjusting for the cap.
I would hope he takes a little bit less next year. Sign him to another like 1+1 at like 15 per. Because we did overpay him this year. Like he's not worth the money he makes now. So I think hopefully he takes that into consideration and wants to be here, and we get him at a nice like 2 for 30 type of deal, like Tim Hardaway or something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting him like the Duncan Robinson deal. that Dunk's got right now. Dunk's getting paid. Dunk's on like a 3 for 45-ish, declining money, non-guaranteed later on. That would be great for Tobias, but yeah,
Be
if he's
fine with
still
that as well.
here.
I think it was Drew Smith who signed it was like a 3 year 9 million or something. I think Dennis is a little bit above Drew Smith. So like I said, 3 year 15 is honestly I could 3 year 18 maybe.
I
I
think
think
that would be
we have to,
handiwork by Langdon.
that'll have to really come down to what Daniss wants. I'm sure he could have that kind of 3 year longer deal, or he could get perhaps a shorter and a bigger deal elsewhere in the NBA. So I think that'll be a real ethical decision for him as to what he wants to do. Ball's in his court.
Jaden Hardy signed a 3 year 18.
Hey,
Jaden Harden,
okay,
kind of
okay.
stinky.
It's kind of the same type
But
of player.
we're starting to get into payment times, you know? Cade's already on his max. Jalen Duren is, I mean, he's about to get a
It's,
max extension.
especially if he
Like
gets All-Star, he gets
like Franz
stuff.
Wagner got a
Yeah.
max extension, you know? He's gonna get a max extension. Then the next year, Asar Thompson is up for the extension. The year after that, Ron Holland. So payroll could be getting heavy.
All the more reason to not make a trade.
Fair enough. Um, where do you put the live odds? Talking like Mike. What the live odds that this is the Pistons have the exact same roster now versus after February 5th?
Slim.
I would bet against it. Yeah. I don't know odds, but I'd say we probably make a change or two.
I also don't know odds, but I think we'll make a change or two.
Right. Any targets that you guys have past the ones we've talked about? You know, Michael Porter Jr., Trey Murphy, like any guys like lower on the totem pole, perhaps? Because you guys sound like
And
you think something's gonna happen, but you don't think it's gonna be a blockbuster.
I don't think this will happen, but I would say the name I'm most interested in above Michael Porter Jr. I've seen in a few news cycles is Norman Powell from Miami. Obviously tears us up, and then we wouldn't have to play against him ever again. But
Then
uh,
expiring 20 million.
expiring 20 million, that's a crazy deal. I would love to have Norman Powell on this team. He'd be such a big help. I heard the asking price is just a first round draft pick. Make that happen. Um, I'd love to listen though. Do you have any like what are these like peripheral low key roster moves? I mean, I said it. I heard Doris say it. But off the top of my head, I can't like think like, oh, this player is an identified guy. Do you have anybody like that? That's more periphery.
What about a Jose Alvarado?
I'm not interested in Jose Alvarado.
Mhm.
I think he's pretty good, but I mean, we have our
Undersized.
Yeah.
defensive dog point guard that we play already. Then we're talking about paying. Um, the Daniss Jenkins obviously. Any interest in Herb Jones? Because that's again for me is a guy that I am not interested in. We have
I
enough.
feel like, feels
He
like
doesn't
that's the
stay
person
healthy.
ball we already have.
We have the better version of him, I feel like already.
He's a better shooter than both of our wings, but I will take
But
both of our wings over him.
is he what does he shoot? Does he
He
shoot?
cannot be a better shooter. I mean, at least not
He
this year.
can't be a better shooter than Ron and Asar.
Shot
Actually, it's fine.
40% last year, but he's been injured like crazy this year. And he's
Mhm.
just he's just another Ron Asar guy. Like he's good, don't get me wrong. I think we have enough of that.
Yeah.
Another name I've seen floated around a little bit of who might be actually available is Najee Marshall on a 2 year 18, basically.
Oh yeah.
I've been a big Najee guy, big Najee Marshall guy.
I love Najee Marshall. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, I was saying him I mean, they want an expiring, like you said, but if you throw like this year's first and Karis LeVert at him, I think it gets it done.
I feel like I've been hearing a lot of negativity about him from the Mavs fans. Uh, just
Activity.
About what?
that he does too much. But I think that's like he's taking the ball out of Coop's hands in a lot of situations. But I think not something that we'd have an issue with here. Like
No, in a
that's a
structured
tanking
system.
team. We are
Yeah.
a team with like establishment. Um, Let me see. Drew Holiday.
I could see it. What's his contract at these days?
Um,
He's on I don't know. He's on a 3 year, making like 33 per.
okay, that's tough. That's tough.
A little bit too much, but that's like I would love a Westbrook, even one of those like vet guys who just is kind of crazy and just plays super hard. I think that'd be pretty cool to have.
We've touched on the other guys: Malik Monk, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Klay Thompson.
I
Yeah.
think Clay, I'll just admit it now, Game. I think you're right on the Clay one. He'd be a pretty good fit for us coming
Have
off the
you
bench
watched a little bit of him?
a tiny bit.
Yeah, the
Um,
guy's a shooter.
There were some Sam Hauser conversations in the offseason. I feel like I'm still interested in him. I think he's a real legit shooter.
If Boston lets him go, yeah.
didn't they
Yeah,
extend him in the summer, 4 years?
I don't think so.
Huh.
What about KCP?
Dave's Caldwell poop. Not
Oh,
really.
they did last year.
I don't know. Like, it's like, is it really worth shifting anything for a KCP? No, I'd rather play Chaz Linear 8 minutes a game than play KCP 8 minutes a game,
Oh,
honestly.
I disagree. I would rather have the proven NBA vet, multi-time NBA champion.
How
I'd
about
let.
here's a guy. How about Terrence Mann? He's on a 3 year 45 right now.
No.
No Terrence Mann.
37% 3 point shooter.
Yeah, I kind of
Good
like
defender.
KCP's money runs out next year. That's not bad. Yeah, Terrence Mann. I'm not terribly upset at that. I feel like he's had one moment in the league when he was on that Clippers team that beat the Jazz.
He's a bit overrated, but I think he came back down to
That's
earth a
so
little
long
bit.
ago. There's a reason. I've always thought he'd be a good NBA player, but there's a reason I think he hasn't played.
He's out Brooklyn. Yeah. All right. Some guys, some names to think about. You guys have anything else you want to touch on today?
Yeah, just
Look at the
really
week
quick.
ahead.
Valley mentioned you're scared to see Charlotte if they were the eighth seed. Not scared, but you wouldn't want to see them. I wouldn't want to see a healthy Embiid right now. You know, that guy
Oh my
always
Lord, yeah, I hope.
gets the cooking. So those are two teams I'd like to avoid rather early in the playoff. Actually, I would want to play Charlotte. I think we'd destroy them.
I think we destroy Philly. I think we're pretty well equipped to beat them.
It's just
They
that
got
Embiid is clearly the
I
best
would,
player
I
on the
would,
floor when he's healthy.
Max is the best player on the floor on that team.
we haven't. I don't think we haven't played the Sixers when Embiid's been Embiid, um, which he's come on recently. I would rather see the Hornets, but we also like. I feel like the Hornets are coming out recently. In a perfect world, who do we play? The
If
Bulls.
we could pick one.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
Bulls. Yeah.
Miami's giving us some struggles, but I think
I wouldn't mind the Hawks either if they sneak in there.
if
Uh,
Yeah, right now eighth seed is Miami.
yeah. So we just gotta hold on to this. We got a good lead.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, taking us through next week then. Um,
We have
played
the
Brooklyn,
Nets
didn't we?
tonight,
Yeah, 6 p.m.
then the Nuggets again, Jokic back, then the
Yep.
Wizards, and then on Friday, the Knicks. Wow, this is a full week right here.
You gotta win. Well, Washington and Brooklyn gotta be easy ones.
Those have to be dubs.
I think you gotta consider Cade's injuries and rest him tonight against Brooklyn. Oh, these are gonna be good. I'm gonna go 3-1. I don't know who it. I think that Knicks game will be so interesting. The Knicks have been playing in an invigorated sense of new defense. They've been really grinding on the defensive end ever since their player only meeting. I'm a little worried about that, but I think I would love to see us spank them again.
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the Nuggets
Yeah, me too.
actually playing them at sort of full strength with Jokic back. We haven't seen him yet this year. And he's the best player in the league. I'm gonna go 3-1 as well.
Yeah, same. I think Jokic is gonna yeah, he's gonna go to work unless he sits, unless they play tonight and it's like a back-to-back thing. But I hope he plays. I really want to watch him play. Jalen Duren is like he's gonna try to body him every time. Jokic is gonna do his little like flop thing that he does, and he's gonna get a lot of fouls. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a loss.
Ooh, Thunder Nuggets tonight, by the way.
Oh, so
Oh, really?
okay, good. So they have a night off then.
Yeah. All right. Well, lots to think about, Pistons fans. So throw those buffs on, because the future is right in your face.